Hi everyone. So this is a really good time for you to take a break and think about how you want your website to ideally function and what you want it to look like. So you should have just finished the Hello World video, and the next few tutorials we're going to be going through kind of the fundamentals or basics of HTML and CSS, and then we'll be going through how to actually get pages up on your website. So I will be using W3 School templates to show you how to do this next step, really the next few steps. And I recommend you doing the same thing, but please know that there are lots of other ways to make a website, and you could do something else. Just depends on how ambitious you are and how much time you want to spend on this. But I'll be using W3 Schools. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to look through a lot of different templates that they have and get acquainted with how their site works. Let's get started. The first thing I want to do is show you 3 examples of what I think are great websites. So I have these linked in this section of our page. So I'm just going to click on each one of these. And these are all students from Fab Academy, which is a course hopefully we'll be teaching next semester. So this is an example of actually this first assignment that you're doing. So their first assignment was also to make a website. And I linked this one specifically because they're going through the same process really that you're going through this week. The other reason I really like this one is because it does have this nav bar right here, and you can really quickly get from week to week. And for this class, you will need to have, I think, around 13 links to the different weeks. And so this is just a really easy navigation system for your user. You can quickly get to home. Their home has lots of nice thumbnails with pictures and links, so you kind of know where you're navigating to. The About Me page isn't super strong, but the rest of it is. All right, so that's one. Let's look at another one. Okay, so this one's really unique. The way that we have these thumbnails here, and they're responsive, so when you hover over them you can see the picture, but it's kind of got this cool bright color aesthetic going for it. And then it has an additional drop down menu over here, but you can click on one of these pages and it's more of like a blog post style almost. So I like this one. The downside is that you can't really quickly get to the other weeks, but let's look at the About Me page and see what it looks like. About Me page, and then a Get in Touch section as well, which is pretty cool. Okay, and then we're going to look at Aboutezza. So Aboutezza actually went to Wheaton and did Fab Academy, so I think it's kind of interesting to see her site. So her home page is kind of nondescript, but we have a really nice nav bar up here. We can quickly get to her About page, which is fantastic. It's really lengthy, and if you read through it, it gives you a really good idea of what she's doing with the site and what her journey was through Fab Academy. You go to her assignments, and so this is interesting. So the assignments are constantly all right here, so you can really quickly navigate to them. So I can go to input devices, and then I can go to electronics design really fluidly, which is great. All right, so now that we've looked through those, we're going to actually go over to our CSS and HTML templates. So I'm just going to put in W3 Schools HTML templates, and let's see if we can get to the right thing. Right here, yeah, W3 CSS templates. Okay, so all of these templates are potentially ones that you could use for this site for this class. Go to demo, and so here we are at demo, and this is showing you what it's actually going to look like on your window when you open it. So this is just giving you a full preview, and it's not actually going to navigate to a completely separate page. It's just going to navigate to a different place on this current layout, on this home page. So you do have to imagine, okay, like, could I use this layout for every week? Or would I have to create an entirely new layout? That's important to think about. But let's say you wanted to see how you could modify one yourself. So instead of clicking on demo, we're going to click on try it yourself. And I personally like to change up the orientation here. So I'm just going to click on this. And now I have my CSS and HTML on my left, and I have the site on my right. So let's just say I wanted to change my portfolio. So I'm going to go over here. And let's see if I can find the my portfolio part right here. So let's just say I want to change that and put in Madison's gallery. Okay. And now just to see what that looks like, I'm going to go up here to the screen button that says run. And now I can see, okay, that's how this changed. And this is just, I don't know, I think of a good way to try out a website before you fully commit, and I would definitely recommend doing this. There are a few things I want to point out on some of the sites that are going to be really helpful. So, for instance, on the very first one, band template, if you go to your the demo, you can see up here it's got this built-in nav bar, which is really helpful. And not only does it have a built-in nav bar, but it has a built-in drop-down within the nav bar. And if you've never done anything with HTML, making a nav bar can be tricky if you're doing it from scratch. It's definitely doable, and it's something I could probably show you how to do one-on-one. There's also tons of resources on W3 Schools, but this is just nice because it's built in. So for our class, for our purposes, you're going to have some stuff up here, and then when you have a drop down like this, it would be those 13 weeks, because that would be for your weekly assignments. I think the downside is that this isn't a great layout for a page. So again, just something you have to decide for yourself. All right, so now that we've looked through those, we are probably going to go ahead and jump into brackets and HTML, and let's get started with that.